Jay-Z name is making headlines again, but not because of a new album or unexpected appearance. No, it's much more personal this time. After years of claiming to be Jay-Z's son, a young guy named Rymir has finally been given the opportunity to proceed with his paternity case. And there is a lot of activity on the internet. Jay-Z has been formally instructed by the judge to reply to the legal filing by July 18th. Furthermore, it is no longer merely a common celebrity gossip. Documents, eyewitnesses, irrational charges, and even other celebrities like Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent are joining the fray. Let's take a moment to go back in time. The tale of Rymir is not new. For more than 10 years, he has been shrieking into thin air that his mother, Wanda, had a one-night affair with Jay-Z in 1992. He claims that after meeting in Philadelphia and hooking up in Brooklyn, they were done. Jay disappeared. Despite initially listing her ex-boyfriend on the birth certificate, Wanda ended up becoming pregnant, and in 2011, a DNA test ruled him out. Sean Corey Carter was the only other man left in the photo. Indeed, Jay-Z? Jay, however, has resisted taking a DNA test for years. Why? Things start to feel strange at that point. It becomes more sticky at this point. When they alleged meeting, Wanda was only 16 years old. Jay-Z was 22. It's not only shady if what Rymir is claiming is accurate. It might have constituted a crime. Jay's legal team has put a lot of effort into burying the news and keeping it out of court, which may be why. Since this lawsuit involves more than just whether Jay-Z is the father of someone, the question is whether he committed a significant crime and covered it up for decades. And there is something to the cover-up theory. According to Rymir's godmother, BEYONCÉ attempted to silence the entire controversy. According to rumors, one of her camp friends allegedly said, "Tell that young boy to go." Naturally, that hasn't been verified, but it supports Rymir's assertions that influential individuals were attempting to suppress him. He even claimed that late at night, individuals tried to enter his home through the back door. It goes beyond celebrity feuds. It sounds like intimidation. Then the unexpected turn of events occurred. Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent became involved. As usual, 50 has been stirring things up by repeating Rymir's case on all of his social media accounts. And by implying that this might be the reason Jay-Z was initially popular, Nicki fanned the flames. She even added a cryptic "To God be the glory" to some of 50's video that she uploaded. Passive interest wasn't all that. She co-signed the story at that point. And now there's talk of a far darker angle, just when it seemed like things couldn't get much messier. Assertions that Jay-Z allegedly participated in various unethical transportation circumstances that resulting in the birth of Rymir. Although we don't yet have receipts for that, it says volumes that a judge is permitting this case to proceed. Why not throw it out once more, as before, if it were wholly without merit? Let's be honest. Jay-Z has a reputation for staying in a battle if he is unfairly accused. Without hesitation, he files a lawsuit. But crickets in this instance. For years, he's been avoiding it. Silence, no DNA test, no answer. And now, at last, he is being overcome by stillness. The court filings fell like a ton of bricks. The magistrate stated that the ex parte application must be granted and the order must be stamped with a strict time for Jay-Z's legal team to reply to the lawsuit Lily Coley filed against Sean Corey Carter. This was either a disorganized Twitter thread or a blog rumor. The green light was legal. Rymir's years of being dismissed and silenced suddenly had a genuine chance to become something tangible. And Rymir's victory isn't the only one. There is a change in the mood surrounding the case as a whole. He felt as though he was yelling into space for years. Judges repeatedly denied his requests for a paternity test, stating that they had jurisdictional concerns or that Jay-Z didn't actually live in New Jersey. Therefore, they were powerless to take any action. Rymir, however, was not going to back down. He continued to appear with documents, information, and what he claims are receipts proving Jay-Z owned property in the state at the time. According to Rymir, one of the biggest bombs was that Beyoncé's own mother, Tina Knowles, claimed in her book that Jay actually owned land in New Jersey. It is more than a formality. Jay-Z's defense that he shouldn't be obliged to take the DNA test in that jurisdiction would be totally undermined if it were true. All of a sudden, this is no longer a he said, she said situation and has legal standing. Rymir's expanding lists of supporters immediately became aware of it, as did the internet. It resembles. At last, things have begun to change. However, despite this energy, there are still a lot of dark aspects to the plot. Rymir is referring to more than just being disregarded. He talks about being shot at, harassed, and followed. After he filed a legal suit and shared photos of the damage, he says someone fired at his car. Additionally, he claims that before he was stopped, something was planted inside his car. It's extremely filthy if any of that is accurate. That is outright intimidation, not simply PR management. This is where a far darker connection begins to emerge. Recall Roc Nation CEO Desiree's daughter, Demery Hadley Perez? She recently made some bombshell claims of her own. Diori claims that Roc Nation has been deliberately stifling voices, particularly those of Nicki Minaj. She said that they attempted to stifle Nicki's platform, assaulted her family, and professionally sabotaged her. In fact, she stated, "If it happened, imagine what they have done to others, even if I am the CEO's daughter." That struck a chord because Rymir isn't the only one who says he's been silenced. Dibber is supporting Nicki's assertion. A trend is beginning to emerge, and neither Roc Nation nor Jay-Z appear to be doing well. Nicki is no longer even being nuanced. She has publicly stated that she has been shadowbanned online, that she has been professionally blackballed, and that Jay-Z owes her money. She is now standing directly beside Rymir, reposting his narrative and pressuring Jay to reply. This is no longer a fan conspiracy. One of the most influential guys in music is becoming the target of a high-profile dog pile. What does that mean for Jay-Z then? In a corner, receipts are being uploaded, celebrities are circling, the courts are involved, and the public is closely monitoring everything. Jay may actually need to show up, speak up, and take the test for the first time in years. If he doesn't, the quiet may speak louder than any DNA analysis. Rymir is not requesting a check. He's not out here pleading for a seat at Jay-Z's table, celebrity, or influence. His desires are even more intimate. The reality. This case hit is unique because of that. He's not looking for a paycheck or a last name. He is seeking enlightenment. He stated it clearly. Take the exam, demonstrate that Jay-Z is not his father, and put an end to this. But if he is, stop hiding and say it aloud. For Rymir, dignity is more important than money. His displeasure extends beyond Jay-Z to the entire justice system. He has been criticizing courts and attorneys for what he claims are years of dishonest behavior, saying they have purposefully dragged the case into a labyrinth of dismissals and delays. This legal red tape, in his opinion, wasn't an accident. Truth was never the aim of this strategic game of influence, money, and power. Ramirez even claimed that fictitious court orders were used to place unlawful restrictions on his family's house. This conflict was never fair to him. And it's crazy how much of this has happened in front of the public. Jay-Z's legal team contended that since he didn't own property in New Jersey, he couldn't be made to undergo a DNA test there. However, others questioned how long that defense could last when Rymir revealed receipts that verified that Jay-Z did, leading back to his own inner circle. Then there are those who claim that Jay-Z's team attempted to resolve this in secret years ago, talking about possible music options for Rymir, and even thinking about signing him to Roc Nation. However, others question how long that defense could last when Rymir revealed receipts that verified that Jay-Z did, leading back to his own inner circle. Then there are those who claim that Jay-Z's team attempted to resolve this in secret years ago, talking about possible music options for Rymir, and even thinking about signing him to Roc Nation. However, when Rymir's everything fell apart when his godmother demanded that he complete high school first. Lawyers abruptly retreated, and doors crashed. This layer is even heavier than the previous one. This goes beyond a paternity test if Jay-Z did hook up with Wanda when she was 16 and he was 22. It provides access to significant legal consequences. Sleeping with a juvenile while crossing state boundaries. It may be illegal in addition to being morally dubious. And that's probably one of the reasons Jay's team has worked so hard to keep the case out of any public court proceedings, because, once it's presented to a judge, it's a very different matter. Rymir hasn't exactly been quiet in the interim. He has shared court documents, interviews, and even in-depth accounts of interactions in which he alleges that he was the target of threats or intimidation. He claimed that he was the victim of a murder attempt. Right up. He claimed that somebody attempted to transmit a message, followed him, and fired at his vehicle. That isn't typical paternity case behavior. Something dangerous, something darker. And it becomes even more unsettling when you take a broader view. The accusations of intimidation, shadow banning, and industry repression are all similar to what Demi Hadley and Nicki Minaj have been stating regarding Roc Nation. The same design, but different stories. Powerful people are apparently working behind the scenes to silence voices they don't like. Rymir is no longer afraid. He has receipts. There are individuals that support him. The court is now paying attention to him. The due date has been established. Jayz must answer. No more hiding. Stop putting things off. No more justifications. This isn't a PR controversy or a rap feud. A young man is attempting to find closure. Everyone is watching to see what comes next. Because Rymir may finally obtain the one after a protracted battle in this decade. Something that has always been denied to him, the truth.